Hello and welcome to day 8 of my 13 days of Halloween movies. The inevitability of death and a clown that eats your fears were apparently not scary enough for the last 2 days. I had to go up a stage and talk about a movie where people are trapped in a cave with literal demons who eat them. I'm talking about The Descent. I can't in good faith review this movie without some kind of trigger warning. This movie has a lot of blood and gore in it, some brief moments of violence, and if you are super claustrophobic or hate the idea of being stuck in a cave, this might not be the movie for you. It scared me quite a bit, and I'm not hyper afraid of movies or these types of things. The Descent is about a group of women: Sarah, Beth, Juno, Sam, Rebecca, and Holly. Sarah lost her husband and daughter after their last adventure, but Juno pushed her to come back out this next year. This time, the group decided to go cave exploring in a well-known cave nearby. They descend into the cave, and the only way out at this point is through. There's no going back from where you came. The cave feels off. It doesn't have any signs of human life and is rough to traverse. To everyone's dismay, Juno reveals she brought them into a cave that has actually never been explored and is unknown to people. She also tells them that she told the park rangers and police that they would be in a different cave, so nobody would ever know where to find them. It gets even worse though. They aren't alone down there. There are these demon-like creatures that live all over the place and try to hunt the group down, affectionately named crawlers. They can't see at all, but they have hyper hearing and scent, and they're also perfect climbers. They will rip your head off without a second thought and eat you. I am not the type of person who gets scared watching many horror movies. Hereditary, The Evil Dead, Friday the 13th, and a bunch of other horror movies are not scary at all to me. Even yesterday's movie, It wasn't actually all that scary. I was able to let my guard down and play into the movie, using suspension of disbelief to be scared for the runtime of the movie. But none of these movies I have mentioned come even close to the fear of The Descent. It is easily the scariest movie I have ever seen. The Descent was so good at making me experience actual fear. There were times I wanted to turn the movie off because my internal fight or flight wanted me to stop feeling whatever the fuck it was going through. I'll start with the first half, which somehow might be the scarier part of this nightmare movie, but I don't know, both halves are pretty scary. Just the premise is enough to raise tension for me. Stuck in a cave with very little hope of survival. I have always thought the actual threat of death in movies, something tangible, is scarier than magic stuff. That's what this is. It's scary because if they don't make it through, they die. The consequences are real and tangible. You know what they are. You're not playing in a world where you don't know the rules. I think it is a great mashup of survival and horror movies. A lot of the time, you are rooting for the characters to make it through survival movies, but you don't feel the fear of them failing. In The Descent, it was pretty clear failure was inevitable. Death being a guarantee is scary. This movie also made darkness actually scary. I was never a person who needed a nightlight as a kid, but goddamn, I need one after this. The movie only shows you characters' immediate surrounding, what they are looking at or pointing their flashlight at. It doesn't illuminate the caves beyond what the characters can see. It is a trick I have grown to appreciate in horror, when the movie doesn't let the audience in on the secrets. You aren't shown the answers before the characters, so everything is more feelable. You feel the panic and fear, and the reveal hits you harder. Boy, oh boy, does the reveal hit you like a ton of bricks as well. They had a terrifying movie on your hand, but they decided to turn it from a simple survivor movie into a monster one just for the sake of it, to make it even scarier, because fuck me, I guess. It wasn't as scary enough as in. Let's add in mangled humanoid demons that are perfectly suited to live in an environment you are in and bathe in literal blood. The crawlers are set up as such a threat because they can kill you in an instant. This is their home turf. If you get caught by one, there's no chance of escaping. And just look at them. They are disgusting. The lore explanation for them is that they have evolved over hundreds of years from human, but stuck in the cave they adapted to live in those conditions. That's why they can no longer see, and they're really good climbers. This wasn't explained in the movie, which I think is a positive. I think it would have been a little weird to explain it all, and you really couldn't do it without some narration, which would have ruined it, but it was later revealed that that was the idea behind them. I wasn't in need of an explanation, but I like this one enough. There was one criticism that I do agree with about this movie, but it's also a positive that made the movie as scary as it did, I guess. So I'm not really sure if it's truly a criticism from me. This movie is very dark. There are scenes that it's genuinely hard to see anything that is happening with how little light there is. In editing this video, I went through the entire movie again and scrubbed it for stuff I could use. There are entire scenes that are unusable for the footage because you can't make anything out other than a really small light. So there are times where this movie isn't that visually stimulating, which I will admit adds to the atmosphere of the movie, but I think they just went a little too far from time to time and would like to be able to see my movies most of the time. Then I have to talk about Juno, an immediate contender for least favorite movie character ever. She skyrockets herself into that camp with Ponyo and Flap. She got all of these people into this mess, taking them off the plan and entering a cave none of them gave her permission for. And she really didn't tell anyone where they are going. Look, if you are going to do something so stupidly dangerous, maybe you should find one trustworthy person and tell them what cave you are entering, so they can save you when things go bad. She gambled with all of their lives. Even before the crawlers came and started to kill them all, Juno would have been candidate number 1 if cannibalism became a question. Then the crawlers show up. This girl accidentally stabs one of her friends and just leaves. Doesn't try to help or even puts her out of her misery. Juno just dips and gets the fuck out of there, leaving her to die slowly and painfully, waiting for a crawler to come finish her off. Juno then leaves another friend behind as bait for the crawlers. This girl is a certified psychopath. It's an unseen amount of villainy. Then she was also sleeping with Sarah's husband back when he was alive. When a man is cheating, I usually don't think giving the other woman grief is justifiable. It is the person in the relationship's responsibility to communicate their boundaries. But in this case, Juno was literally friends with the wife. She knew what she was doing. She was like an aunt to these people's kids. It's gross and I hate this character so much. It was all Juno's fault to me because the man had maybe 2 lines and died. I can't blame him because he barely qualifies as a character in this movie. There's just everything wrong with Juno. She's an insane person. Imagine sleeping with a friend's significant other. That significant other dies, and then a year later, you invite that friend out to the same place that significant other died to kill them. That's insane. This woman is crazy. Sarah ended up killing Juno and feeding her to the crawlers in order to escape, and that was so satisfying. Even if those are the exact actions I criticized Juno for, it doesn't matter. Sarah was justified in those. Then we get to the end of this movie. The Descent finally decided to be nice. The one happy thing about this was the ending. Sarah found the light at the end of the tunnel and made her escape. She reaches the car and drives on. She was shocked, but she made it. There's this tease that she almost dies on her drive home like her husband and daughter did last year, but the truck missed her. We can rest easy. All roads lead to a good ending, right? Nope. It is a dream. She wakes up in the fucking cave with crawlers on their way to kill her. There is no escape. There is no happiness in this movie, just eternal suffering. Way back in day 2 of the series, I talked about Dave made a maze, and how it unlocked a hyper-specific memory of a Phineas and Ferb episode, one where the kids are stuck in the maze. You might think, why am I bringing this up during the cave movie? A maze and a cave are 2 different things. Well, the scene I was remembering was the kids coming up to this hole. It was a big pit they couldn't see the bottom of, dropping something down and using the sound to determine how deep it was. Well, in this movie, they come across a hole in the cave, and one of the girls drops a rock to see how deep it is. I'm gobsmacked. These 2 movies would remind me of not only Phineas and Ferb, not just the same episode, but they both reminded me of the exact same moment. I feel like this has to be some kind of sign from the universe. Maybe I should rewatch Phineas and Ferb. If you'd watch a retrospective on that series, let me know in the comment. In the end, The Descent was extremely effective as a survival horror, steadily building momentum, keeping me guessing and scared of what come next. The info unravels perfectly to build fear. Giving a rating to this movie was kinda hard, just because of how much of a scaredy cat I was the entire time. This movie made me physically uncomfortable through most of its runtime, but I kinda loved it. I settled on 4.5 stars just because I do think I enjoyed that feeling. It elicited the feeling it wanted to, so effectively I have to respect it. But also fuck this movie and how scary it was. I hope you enjoyed the video. I have another one coming out tomorrow at 9 a.m. EST. The daily movie reviews will keep happening until the 31st, and then there's other stuff I have planned. If you want to help me out, leave a like and subscribe. It does really help the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.